humanity. Keep watching The Politics every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on New York Parrot TV, the voice for humanity.
Welcome to Talking Politics. My name is Robert Press. I am a reporter, as you can see by my official City of New York press card. I write for the Bronx Post and Parkchester Times. Both, like this show, are part of Muslim Media Corporation. I also contribute to the Co-op City News and have a blog at www.100%.blogspot.com, along with Facebook pages 100% and What is Going On in Your Community Board. The views expressed on this show are that of the host, any guest, or anyone who is commentating at the bottom of the screen, and not necessarily those of Muslim Media Corporation. Now, why am I wearing my Met jacket? The Mets have made it into round 2 of the playoffs. The Yankees now come in, and hopefully we will have a subway series between the New York Mets and the New York Yankees. By the way, as you know, I'm a reporter. I was in the Met clubhouse one night years ago, and this jacket was laying on a table, and I said to the person next to it, whose jacket is that? And he said, oh, it was our manager's, Buddy Harrelson's jacket, who they just had fired, and said, you want it? Take it. So this is how I got this jacket. Now, let's go on to the weather report. Today is Friday. There'll be a high of 75 with a possible sprinkle tonight. Saturday is a perfect beach day for your last beach day of the year. Temperature will be getting up to 76 on clear skies. Sunday cools down to 71. Monday goes up to 74 with rain at the end of the day and cooler weather in 60s the rest of the week. Now let's go to the growing Middle East crisis. The Israeli military launched an airstrike in central Beirut, marking a gradual expansion of what it says are strikes targeting Hezbollah in the Lebanese capital, as its forces are fighting with the militant group in the country south. The strike in Beirut's Bakura neighborhood early Thursday killed at least 6 people, according to the Lebanese health ministry. Witnesses say there were strikes on 2 different apartments on the same floor of a building shortly after midnight. The Israeli military said it had conducted a precision strike in Beirut without offering further details. It wasn't immediately clear if the statement was a reference to the same attack. The Bakura strike is the second time that Israel struck within the city limits of the Lebanese capital since it launched an escalation of its campaign against Hezbollah and other militant groups in Lebanon. Most of the other airstrikes have targeted the southern suburbs of Beirut, targeting what Israel says are Hezbollah facilities. A massive airstrike in the southern section of Beirut killed Hezbollah's Secretary General Hassan Nahara last Friday night, sending residents of the area spilling into other areas of the capital and triggering fears of a widespread widening of the war. Hezbollah's main backer, Iran, launched a ballistic missile attack on Israel Tuesday that it said was retaliation in part for the killing of the Hezbollah leader. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said Israel appears to have effectively defeated Iran's attack. A few hours ago, Iran, for the second time in the space of 5 months, launched a direct attack on Israel, including some 200 ballistic missiles. This is totally unacceptable, and the entire world should condemn it, he said during a previously scheduled meeting with India's External Affairs Minister. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan also told reporters during a White House briefing that Iran's attack seemed to have been defeated and ineffective based on the United States' early assessment. Sullivan said the U.S. military worked closely with the Israeli IDF to defend Israel and was proud to do it, including shooting down incoming missiles and from U.S. destroyers positioned in the area. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard said it targeted 3 Israeli military bases around Tel Aviv in its attack on Israel. The Iran minister to the United Nations said that no notice was given to the U.S. prior to the attack, though a serious warning was issued afterwards. The Israeli Defense Forces said it appropriately identified approximately 180 missiles fired towards Israel from Iran. The Iranian missile attack began at 7:31 local time, Israel, on Tuesday night. The IDF said most of the missiles were intercepted, but some hit were identified and the damage is being assessed, Israeli security officials said. The recent Israeli strikes after midnight hit a central area of the capital Lebanese parliament, we said. And Lebanon state-run national news agency said Israeli forces launched 17 separate attacks in the southern suburbs overnight. The Israeli military didn't immediately respond to a request for comment on the attacks. Much of the southern suburbs have already seen people leave, like I said, with most residents fleeing safely to other parts of the country. The airstrikes come after Israel announced the first death on its ground offensive in Lebanon, releasing the names of 8 soldiers who were killed in combat. Both Israel and Hezbollah said they were engaged in fighting in southern Lebanon after Israeli forces breached the border earlier this week. The deaths point to the dangers of Israel's land operation in Lebanon, where it is now facing Hezbollah on terrain where the militia group has fought twice the Israeli military to a standstill in recent decades. The Israeli Air Force says 25 projectiles were launched from Lebanon towards Israel, with some intercepted, others crashing. Israel has continued heavy attacks on 3 fronts this morning in Lebanon, Gaza, and the occupied West Bank. Now, let's move on to the vice presidential debate. I am not going to give you my opinion. My opinion is that I thought it was much like a Trump-Biden debate, but here is how Politico looked at the vice presidential debate Tuesday night. They said J.D. Vance not only was polished, but offered a more cutting critique of Kamala Harris than his running mate Donald Trump managed in his own debate with her last month. Tim Walz, on the other hand, took a while to warm up and wasn't even that great when he did. The debate, light on body blows and heavy on policy, was won by Vance on style points. Vance managed, at least for one night, to move past his controversial past statements about women and families and his false claims about immigrants eating pets in Ohio. Meanwhile, Walz had moments, including calling out Vance for not acknowledging that Trump lost the 2020 election, and if he had one of the most cringingly answers that night, a falsehood about whereabouts in China during the Tiananmen Square protest, saying he misspoke. It is likely the last debate Americans will see. 6 political reporters and editors gave their takeaways from the Walz debate. They said who had the better night. One said the conventional wisdom was that Vance was going to be combative, mean, and personal. There were certain moments that when he hit Walz hard, but much of the night, Vance deliberately treated Walz with a softer touch, saying he was sure the governor wanted to solve various problems, but that Harris doesn't. It was an effect to present himself as a gentler version of Vance than we've seen on the campaign trail, and it appears to have thrown off Walz. Steve Shepard of Politico says that Vance wins on points. He was more comfortable in the setting, and he didn't have any serious missteps. Walz's hyper-caffeinated focusedness came out at times, especially once the debate turned to domestic policy, and his passion came through on abortion rights, such to the extent that Vance admitted the PR problem Republicans have on the issue since the 2022 Dobbs decision, a potential lasting moment, even if the Ohio senator was more polished debater for the balance of the evening. Lisa Knitsky said Vance was the winner. This is where all those hours of being grilled on talk show circuits and parrying reporters on a trail paid off for Vance. He was poised. He defended Trump's record. He effectively made the case against Harris when Trump failed in his last debate. Walz was nervous from the top. He took awkward poses, trying to remember the talking points he drilled in debate prep. Eugene Daniels said it was most Midwestern vice president debate in history, but I think you got to give it to Vance. It seems like the expectation setting from Walz was folks ending up to be true. Debating isn't his forte. Most people watched the first half of the debate, and if you turned out early, you saw Walz seemingly pretty nervous early on, and Vance seeming more comfortable. Let's go to Adam Wren. He said Vance was the winner. The Harris strategy of all but hiding Walz since his early August rollout showed Walz's answer on a Tiananmen Square question. He had a significant amount of time to formulate a response to the prior to the debate. One of the enduring questions for the Harris-Walz campaign will be why they bubble wrapped a guy who rose to prominence on strength of his media hits during the mini Veep stakes. I just don't understand it. He said also Holly is right that about Vance's softer touch. Did you know Vance had 3 beautiful little kids at this revelation? Walz's son had witnessed a shooting. Vance, a practicing Catholic, and has mercy, a human moment for the candidate who has been penned as less than. Natalia Allison, I agree with Adam. Walz seemed uncomfortable on a number of occasions during the debate. They were awkward poses. At times he looked like He was holding his breath and strained eyes and stared at Vance while Vance spoke. Wolf certainly had moments when he tapped his folksy brand and tried to come across as confident, like when he repeatedly highlighted common ground he and Vance share, but Vance, in his pink tie, overall came out more engaging on the stage tonight. There's other talks about my community knows who I am not perfect, and assuming it was a flub when Wolf said he became friends with school shooters, he probably regrets that one too. So that's some of the experts on the debate. Now let's move on to a couple of other items. Mondaire Jones has shifted his policy on the borders, despite congressional candidate and former Congressman Mondaire Jones once called the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency a racist institution, a New York Post piece points out. But as his spokesperson, Sharon Geisen, now tells Political Playback that Jones thinks the agency plays a crucial role in endorsing or ensuring border security. He believes that ICE plays an important role in keeping our border secure and Americans safe, she said in a statement. Unlike Michael Lawler, Mondaire supported record levels of funding for border security while in office and will continue to advocate for more resources while he returns to office. It should be noted that Mike Laura, a picture of him from 2006, has surfaced showing him in blackface, and that is now being questioned. Lawler said it was a commentary on Michael Jackson, so that will now be the focus of the debate. In a statement from Governor Kathy Hochul on Tuesday, the first large-scale Eastern dock workers strike in 47 years began at ports from Maine to Texas, including the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. But there has been an agreement where dock workers have returned to work, extending the current contract to January 15th to give more time to bargain on other issues after it has been reportedly that they have received a 62% wage increase, but no details about it has come out yet. A wrongful death lawsuit against Governor Andrew Cuomo and members of his former administration, blaming him for the death of a nursing home resident, was dismissed. The development comes as Cuomo is weighing a bid for mayor. The controversy surrounding his handling of nursing home policies during the initial months of COVID pandemic and part of his political baggage. During the last 4 years, the debate over COVID in nursing homes have been weaponized, distorted, and contorted beyond recognition by those using the situation for their own politics, Cuomo said. Cuomo spokesman Rich Appizzardi said, however, anytime this gets taken out of the political arena, the truth wins. And again, as for my Met jacket, former police commissioner Ketchen Sewell was partying with the Mets in her new gig as head of security for the baseball organization while scandals plagued City Hall. Legal cannabis sales in New York have more than tripled in the past year, in a sign that the state's crackdown on unlicensed shops and the expansion of legal shops is starting to have an impact. However, I was told last night that the first store that was on East Tremont Avenue here in the Bronx, has closed by a reputable source. Before I go to the break, I'm going to quickly go through the Controller's monthly Department of Corrections update. The Department of Corrections housed 6,503 individuals. September 1st, 127 more than August 1st. 2,500 individuals entered the custody in August, 111 fewer than the previous month. They discharged 1,988 people in August, 8 fewer than the previous month. The average length of the person detained was 97 days in August, 1 day more than the previous month. They failed to produce 137 of 7,407 individuals in custody for a scheduled court appearance, an increase of 16. 21 of 7,270 individuals delivered to court did not have a recorded time of arrival, 16 more than previous. The Controller's Office did not receive an update on staffing. Incidents of violence in August, 72 recorded assaults, 1 more than the previous month, 19 slashing to stabbings, 4 more, 612 fights, 28 fewer, and there was no data for missed medical appointments. So let me now go to a commercial, and when I come back, we'll talk a little bit more about Mayor Eric Adams' problem. So let's go to a commercial.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official launch of the Bronx Post, your premier source for news and information in the Bronx. As the CEO of Muslim Media Corporation, It gives me great pleasure to introduce the Bronx Post, our latest endeavor dedicated to serving the vibrant and diverse community of the Bronx.
Oftentimes, mainstream media portray this county in the most negative way possible, all because Bronx continued to be judged in the 70s and 80s when Bronx was burning. Today, as we enter the Small Business Month of 2024, Muslim Media Corporation is proud to announce the formation and the creation and establishment of a new newspaper that will cover the entire Bronx, continue to highlight the new Bronx, the new realities and the new developments and the new attributes of the Bronx. Some things that are not being covered by, again, our mainstream media. Bronx Post, the first county-wide newspaper to be published by Muslim Media Corporation that has already been publishing Rochester Times.
We aim to be your trusted source for information. We believe in the power of journalism to inform, inspire, and unite communities. With the Bronx Post, we seek to amplify the voice of Bronxites, celebrate the richness of our culture, and shed light on the issues that impact our lives.
Changing Bronx deserves a changing narrative. And the Bronx Post, which will be launched in May in commemoration of Small Business Month, will highlight that which Bronxites have been yearning for mainstream media to highlight. So, to all my fellow New Yorkers, particularly my fellow Bronxites, join us, patronize us, read us, and follow us, so that you will be extremely proud of the addition of news reporting that highlights the new realities of the Bronx.
Together, let's make the Bronx Post the heartbeat of our borough. The Bronx Post, changing the reality, changing the narrative.
Welcome back. Now, let's get into Mayor Adams' problems. Mayor Adams flashed a thumbs up as he strode into federal courthouse at 500 Pearl Street to be arrested. Hours later, the signature cocky smile was gone as the mayor was booked and fingerprinted. He stood quietly in the well of a courtroom listening to a public reading of the felony charges against him. "I am not guilty, Your Honor," he said to Judge Catherine Parker. At least 5 probes of the administration now underway, including investigations of possible procurement irregularities and alleged allegations of bribery and extortion, along with evidence of a host of campaign finance violations. Adams, a desperately wounded politician, is turning to his black working class base for emotion and political support. Hours after his arraignment, he was with seniors at a Harlem Community Center, and his weekend included trips to black churches in Queens and the Bronx. You will hear a small number of loud people saying he should step down. "No, I'm not going to step down. I'm going to step up," he told worshipers Sunday at Emmanuel Presbyterian Reformed Church in the Woodlawn section of the Bronx, with a touch of the old bombastic flair. "I'm going to reign. I'm not going to resign. I'm going to reign." And I was able to catch the mayor on his way out. I wished him well. I shook his hand. But maybe not for long he will be mayor, because behind closed doors, many of the city's black political leaders are quietly laying the groundwork for life after Adams. Should he be forced to resign like many of his aides are, or should he be taken out of office by the governor or other way? There is talk that Attorney General Letitia James is the favorite of political observers to take over for the mayor should he be taken out. Now, his private attorney not only filed a motion seeking to dismiss part of the criminal case against Adams, but he also held a press conference in his office of his law firm, a sign that the brawl behind City Hall and federal prosecutors is going to be drawn out and very public. I've never responded to things these little press conferences, but this is different, said Alex Spiro, the mayor's attorney. They've forgotten to tell the people of New York the truth about what's going on here. That's what I have to do. He argued Monday that actions described in the indictment do not constitute a quid pro quo bribery scheme for several reasons. The mayor never actually pressured the then fire commissioner. There was never explicit quid pro quo, and the gifts offered to Adams are the type routinely given to elected officials. Courtesies to politicians are not federal crimes. Congressmen get upgrades. He said they get corner suites, they get better tables at restaurants, they get free appetizers, they have their iced tea filled up. Now, at his weekly press media advisory on Tuesday, Mayor Adams received support from former President Donald Trump, the Republican nominee for president, who wished him luck and emphasis with Adams, claiming that the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York's charges against him were politically motivated. And in the City Hall rotunda, Mayor Adams stood alone without any of his commissioners, saying that he's not rejecting Donald Trump's support. No matter who they are or what they are, I welcome support from every American, he told reporters. Those who know me and know who I am, and those who are just reading up on this, so every American in this great country, I welcome support from. The mayor normally holds his press conference with his senior aides every Tuesday, but said he wanted his deputy mayors to focus on running the city this week. Resignation letters have poured in over recent weeks in response to multiple federal investigations. This week, he braved the press conference alone. Former President Trump has accused the Biden administration of using the Justice Department as a political tool to target opponents, a charge the Biden administration strongly denies. Trump offered empathy to the mayor last week. He said when he predicted the Southern District New York's attorney's charges against him. I watched about a year ago when he talked about how illegal migrants are hurting our city and the federal government should pay us. We shouldn't have to take them. And I said, you know what? He'll be indicted within a year, Trump said. And I was exactly right. Trump said at a press conference in Trump Towers on Thursday after the indictment was unsealed, because that's what we have. We have people that use the Justice Department and the FBI at levels that we have never seen before. Adams has pleaded not guilty to the 5-count indictment, including charges of bribery and fraud, illegal campaign. His attorney has asked the court to dismiss the bribery charges. Mayor Adams is facing increased calls to resign amid the investigation, but he's refused to do that. He will be back in court next Wednesday. Now, New York City Mayor Adams could face more charges on his federal corruption case. Prosecutors told the judge Wednesday morning. Prosecutor Hagan Scotton of the U.S. Attorney's Office told Judge Dale Ho it is possible prosecutors will file a superseding indictment in the case. He said it is likely additional defendants will be called. The hearing in the Manhattan courthouse marked the first case in history, United States versus Eric Adams, since the Democratic mayor pleaded not guilty on Friday to charges. Adams' school's chancellor, police commissioner, top city lawyer, senior advisor have quit or have been forced out. As a matter of fact, the school's chancellor was supposed to leave at the end of the year. He will now be leaving in 2 weeks. The mayor is accused of accepting free travel upgrades in exchange for helping push through a fire inspection at the Turkish consulate building in Manhattan, as well as accepting foreign campaign contributions that were allegedly funneled through straw donors. Since the investigation first came to light, several other federal probes into Adams' advisors have become public knowledge. One appears to be focused on the former New York City Police Commissioner, Caban, and his twin brother. A second relates to the school chancellor Banks and his brothers, the deputy mayor for public safety and an external consultant. And the third involves Adams' Asian American affairs officer. At times, Adams' attorney, Alex Spiro, sought opportunities to be combative with the government in front of the judge. If they tell they have a weak case, he slammed the government for conducting a fake raid on Gracie Mansion the same day the indictment was unsealed. During the hearing, Adams looked serious but comfortable. As he was leaving the courtroom, he shook a supporter's hand, and as he exited the courthouse, he was met by a chorus of protesters and agitators calling for him to resign. The government noted multiple times that Adams uses office a position to obtain improper gifts. They also revealed the existence of additional text messages that indicate Adams allegedly instructed others to lie to authorities during their investigation. The two lawyers for the U.S. attorney and for the mayor battled over how long the discovery period should take, with the U.S. attorney Scotton revealing more about the phone federal authorities seized from Adams, the same one the mayor claims to have forgotten the password. While Scotton says it's unclear how long it will take federal authorities to access the phone, potentially affecting the timeline of the discovery process, he was sure the federal government had the technology to access this information. We will get access to it at some point, he vowed, calling the currently locked phone the outstanding wild card in the case. The judge has delayed a firm timeline for the trial, but a November 1st hearing has been scheduled to address Adams' lawyer Spiro outstanding two motions, one calling for the top charge to be dismissed, the other asked the judge to investigate leaks about the case coming from the government. Now, here's what may happen. Scenario one is if Adams is removed or resigned in time for a special election, a nonpartisan election that will be done in 80 days. You'll have 80 days to run a campaign. Like I said, it will be a free-for-all with probably U.S. Attorney Letitia James running for mayor. What would happen would be the public advocate, Jumaane Williams, would become acting mayor and have 80 days to call for the special election. Scenario two is that, good question, scenario. The special election of candidacies here it is. Adams is removed or resigns in 2025, not in time for a special election. Pardon me for that. I'm sorry. Major factors: Jumaane Williams, currently a popular progressive, more entrenched incumbent mayor. If Adams is removed or resigns from office after the new year, Williams would become acting mayor and serve that role for the rest of the year. Scenario three: Adams stays in office but does not run for re-election. Again, the major factors: there's no incumbent in the race, existing and new challenges to the mayor have no clear target on who to aim the ire. If he remains in office through the end of the term, declines to run for re-election, he will see the loss. And now scenario four: Adams stays in office and continues to run for re-election. A weakened incumbent plays defense against challengers who now have ammunition, and as he fights to retain labor and other major backers. In the 2025 primary, it is still 9 months away, but it's safe to assume that if Adams remains in office and continues his bid for re-election, his current challenges will target him for allegations of corruption detailed in the federal prosecution indictment, but it's still unclear how much of a hit Adams' campaign will take in fundraising among key institutional supporters like labor unions because of the indictment. Now, public advocate Jumaane Williams is not out of the woods yet. The New York Post reports that he is next in line to take over from mayors, but he received campaign contributions from a contractor accused in the federal indictment of setting up straw donors to Mayor Eric Adams, the campaign records show. Williams received $5,000 in donations from Tolbud Mansour, a Uzbek American businessman identified as businessman number 4 in the historic indictment against the mayor, and 2 of employees, the Wall Street Journal reported first. The campaign contributions to Williams appear to carry eerie similarities to the straw donors allegedly made to Mansour and his comrades to Adams' 2021 mayoral bid. A straw donor is someone who receives funds from another person or entity to contribute to a political candidate. Such schemes are illegal because they use to skirt contribution limits to shield who's actually funding a candidate. The indictment against Adams states that Mansour illegally reimbursed $8,000 in total to employees who donated to Adams' 2021 campaign, in addition directly contributing $2,000 himself. Campaign finance records show Williams' re-election committee received $2,100 on January 24th from Montserrat. The same day, 2 employees at his United Elite Group contractor and construction management donated $2,100 and $800 respectively, according to records. Montserrat also donated $10,000 to Williams' unsuccessful 2022 campaign for governor. Williams and his staff didn't return the Post request for comment, but a spokesman of the public advocate told the Wall Street Journal that Montserrat linked donations will be reviewed. And I see I'm running over, but I wanted to just touch on with the Adams indictment. It appears that more and more council members, they're up to, I think, 19, that are against the city of Yes. And could this indictment mean an end to the end of the city of Yes for housing? The Queens Civic Group released a statement. The Queens Civic Congress released a statement Monday saying that the city should halt the proposal and investigate the process amid the federal corruption probe into Adams and some members of the administration. The statement signed by the Queens Civic Congress President Warren Schreiber is a second blow this week to the proposal. Queens Councilman Bob Holden released a statement on Monday calling for the city to step back, delay the proposal, and put it up for a vote as either a ballot proposal or an election topic next year. Holden released a statement a few days after the City Planning Commission voted to approve the proposal and put it into the City Council's hands. A City Council spokesman said lawmakers probably haven't officially filed with the lawmakers, but they plan to review it once it comes before this council for formal review. It's our belief that this process has been duly rushed without adequate community input and deliberation, Schreiber said. And he also, that the majority of community boards across New York City voted against it. And I'm going to end here. I was part of the Community Board 11 City of Yes Committee. I received a letter from the district manager of Community Board 11 a couple of days ago, about a week ago, which said that I am no longer on the City of Yes Committee, but it was disbanded as a few of the other committees, because at the end of June, you have to either make a resolution to redo the committee, or it goes out of existence. So I knew the City of Yes Committee was going out of existence, but I was also on the Community Board 11 Housing Committee as a community member. And I got a letter again saying that I'm no longer on the Housing Committee. I wonder if it's connected to my complaint, my ethics complaint to the Community Board 11 about the letter of appointment I received and how it was leaked to the public by a board member, where the borough president on September 8th told me her office didn't leak it, that it would be either the chair of the board who received the copy of the letter, or it would have been the district manager. So I'm wondering, I filed an ethics complaint. We'll see. The ethics committee is meeting on the 21st. We'll see if they take up my complaint and what happens. And that's all for today. So let me wish you a happy weekend, and I'll see you next week here on Talking Politics on Muslim Media TV. Thank you, and goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official launch of the Bronx Post, your premier source for news and information in the Bronx. As the CEO of Muslim Media Corporation, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Bronx Post, our latest endeavor dedicated to serving the vibrant and diverse community of the Bronx.
Oftentimes, mainstream media portray this county in the most negative way possible, all because Bronx continued to be judged in the 70s and 80s when Bronx was burning. Today, as we enter the Small Business Month of 2024, Muslim Media Corporation is proud to announce the formation and the creation and establishment of a new newspaper that will cover the entire Bronx, continue to highlight the new Bronx, the new realities and the new developments and the new attributes of the Bronx. Some things that are not being covered by, again, our mainstream media. Bronx Post, the first county-wide newspaper to be published by Muslim Media Corporation, that has already been publishing Parchester Times.
We aim to be your trusted source for information. We believe in the power of journalism to inform, inspire, and unite communities. With the Bronx Post, we seek to amplify the voice of Bronxites, celebrate the richness of our culture, and shed light on the issues that impact our lives.
Changing Bronx
In a world where the quality of information available to poorer communities is doctored, tainted and sometimes regressive, where the words fake news have come to mean other people's opinions, it is vital to rely on news platforms with journalists who have feet on the ground and can report the truth. New York Parrot, a New York-based national and global news outlet, is changing the narratives of media operations. We focus on the news that matters, like self-empowerment, entrepreneurship, finances, health, security, politics, and more. We strive to curb violence, racial and economic discrimination, and to promote peace and socio-economic development of multiculturally diverse world. As we give voice to the people, we also give your business a voice and make it heard. Get your product and services off the ground by advertising on our fast-growing platform. With so much of daily visits to New York Parrot, you can't afford to be invisible to prospective clients on the website they trust the most. Our posts reach millions of people across the New York State and around the world. Advertising on our new site will unlock an audience of thousands of potential customers on your doorstep. New York Parrot is born to prosperously speak tomorrow for the voiceless.